And a lot of the shows that when I was out, there were a lot of what they call freak shows, 10-in-1s. They had a 10-in-1 show that what it would do is cost you, let's say $1.50 to get in, and it cost you $2.50 to get out. So it was something where you went and you paid your admission, and then let's say they had let's say 10-in-1, I mean there was like 10 acts going on. So what would happen is they would show a couple acts, and then they would get a guy come out and pitching magic mice or something like that, and they would sell the mouse for 50 cents. Everybody would buy that. And then they'd do a couple more acts, and then they would have another part of the show where they would do what they called a blade box, where they would take a girl, they would put her in a box, and they'd stick all kinds of blades in the top, and they would separate her apart. And then they would say, well, she doesn't get paid for doing this. All she gets paid for is on her donations. So anybody would like to come up and look in the box, you know, it cost you a quarter, a half $1 to come up in the, you know, to look in the box and in the, you know, down in there. Depending on what show you were working, how strong you could work it. I mean, there were guys that would reach in the box and before they would pull in the last blade, and they would pull a bra out or a pair of panties, and they'd throw it, you know, and so you would actually, you know, you didn't know whether the girl was naked in the box or not. I mean, so then there's another $1 there, and then they would do a couple more acts, and then they would do something like they would pitch what they call Spengali cards, which is the kind of cards I was showing you. I don't know how to work them. I do and I don't really, but I mean, there's guys that work them much, much better that sell them for a living. And then they would have a show like, they would say, now ladies and gentlemen, this show, you know, it's on a side tent over here. You can go inside, but you have to be over the age of 18. It's not advertised on the outside, so, you know, it's something we're going to charge 50 cents for. We're not going to tell you what it is. And so they would go inside. And then I had a friend of mine that what he was doing is he was showing a movie, The Birth of a Baby. It was actually a breech birth. And they would show this film for 3 minutes, and if they had any complaints, they would show it to you backwards. So, I mean, they're wildest things. I had a friend of mine had a show called the, it was like about 140-foot banner line, big banners. Ladies with babies growing out of their stomachs and guys with 4 eyes and everything else. And they had, I mean, some of the most amazing pictures on these things. And then they would have a little print about this big photographic gallery. So you'd pay your $1 to get in and you would see nothing but pictures. I mean, there's